Welcome to week 8. Decided to film the launch this time and we'll kind of explain some things along the way. So, week 8, we're officially launching into the research paper in a big way, beginning with your working on your prospectus. But before we get to that, early in the week, here's what I want to tell you. Be sure you immediately, if as soon as you get a chance, click onto this link and go to this next link. See, I want you to pick a library date, a library, virtual library workshop. They don't have any that are right in our class times. These are the times they have for the research workshop. It's held live. It's really cool to go to live. It won't be just with our class, but with other people taking other English 145s, maybe taking comms classes. So you'll be in with a mixture of people who probably, are interested or required to do library workshop to go with their research or to precede their workshop. So you can see what I want you to do is pick from these 3 times. I don't want you to go down into March. That's too late. So pick from these first 3. Once you click it, it will give you the link, how to get to the Zoom class when that occurs. So unfortunately for us, we don't have times during our class, but please, it's about an hour-long workshop. Please be sure you take it. I hope that you can fit one in here during one of these times. I apologize that typically we would go during our class time, but they just weren't offering any distinctly in our class meetup time. Maybe no, because they're on the different days. Anyway, so you need to do that. So let me go back to where we were in week 9. So I've got it in student view right now. So this should look kind of pretty much like, let me see where I am. Gosh, it's so clean looking from the student side. It gets rid of all the clutter that's sitting in my side of it. So, and week 8, let's get back down to it. So you're going to start, I'm trying to try not to click on any of these anymore. So you sign up first for your live, in library workshop. Then some of these are really helpful. Yes, they take a few minutes to look at. I think you would be, disadvantaged if you didn't. Just a short thing. How do you know what makes an article credible, depending on the source that it comes from? So if it comes from like People magazine, it's going to be from a, or even the New York Times, it's from a more substantive news. People magazine would be popular culture. Something like the New York Times would be substantive. And then something that's from the databases would be scholarly. So those are like the different levels of information available to us. This is a great little video. I didn't make it, but someone else did. But I think I viewed a lot of these. I think it walks you through, kind of how do you have an idea, a subject, and how do you modify it and narrow it down into an actual topic. So this helps you do that. This one's really helpful, this link for, how do you use keywords? How do you make your search periods, your search times really productive? A lot of it is, hey, you got to find the right words to search. Okay, so it might be that something you're going to look through something about dogs, they might be calling it canine, whatever. So, you've got to be willing to look at some of these other search terms. Okay, developing a research question. Another good little video. All right, then you get down to my screencast. Your first real assignment of the week is called the grid. Okay, so you'll go through here. I've got a screencast. I've got another link that has at least three sample grids that real students have submitted. And then the submission place for your grid. So your grid is really a brainstorming device that I require all students to perform this sort of I just call it applying the grid. Before you start writing a research paper, you have to go through the grid and be able to come up with a narrowed topic. Okay. The second part of the week will be the prospectus, which is actually, while the grid is homework that gets you ready for the prospectus, the prospectus is the first graded component piece of the research paper. Okay, so here are the instructions and the screencast for that. These are just the instructions without the screencast. The rubric for the prospectus, real student samples that are graded or that have grades on them, so you can see what a weak and strong prospecti, I think that's what the plural prospectus is, looks like. And then your prospectus upload link. Remember, that is your first component of the research paper. Don't be late with that one. Remember, it's, really the kickoff to the research paper. So you've got, a lot going on this week, kind of a lot, but not really a lot. It's going to feel like, where are all the articles that PK supplies? Well, guess what? I'm not supplying those anymore, because now you're going to start researching, and you're going to be doing your own, hunt for topics or hunt for articles. So whereas in the front part of the course, I supplied most, if not all, of the readings and kind of told you what you were going to write on, or provided you maybe a parameters, like, okay, it's going to be a definition essay, here's how you're going to choose to do it, or here's your possibility of choices. The research paper is much more wide open. As you know, if you watch the research paper screencast or read the instructions, you know that you can, or if you did the 3 trailheads, you know that you can go anywhere you want with this paper. So it's not me now supplying the information, it's me guiding you and mentoring you through this process. And it's an exciting process, and I think students typically begin to feel really empowered after creating their first real college level research paper. So it doesn't look like a lot from when I look at the your side of it, but of course we'll have some Zoom class during the week. I'm not sure if we're going to do it Tuesday or Thursday, not both days, so still trying to kind of figure out how that will look with Zoom this week. You do have a lot to do in terms of, it's not just blowing through some homework. Now it's more, really centering on the research paper. And so not as much, I guess you guys might call it busy work. I call it prep work. So you'll see it's kind of more streamlined. All right, this is going to be a great week. I love the research paper component. It's as an academic myself, the research paper component is my absolute favorite component of this whole course. And you guys just turn into like amazing, professional scholars, and we all get to, be scholars together in this process. So it's just a really enriching time for us together. All right, that's what you're up against.